Well, I think we're in a parallel universe because the people of Australia just voted to change the government, and yet the new government is keeping the policies of the last government. Now, people understand that a budget and governing is about choices, and they hear it loud and clear when the Prime Minister talks about how choices are being made. What this government is doing is choosing to keep the stage 3 tax cuts. They are actively choosing to give $244 billion over 10 years to people that are CEOs, that are billionaires and that are politicians. All of those folk are going to get about a $9,000 tax cut every year. Now, we're in a cost of living crisis. I don't think anyone disagrees with that. Why, of all things, would you be giving tax cuts to the rich when people are struggling to meet their daily cost of living challenges? Budgets are about choices. The Australian people did vote for a new government. Why are you keeping the policies of the last one? They weren't right then, and they're even less right now. It is the most ill-timed policy decision that you could possibly make, and I think it is a betrayal of everyone that voted Labor, that you are going to keep the stage 3 tax cuts. They are now your stage 3 tax cuts, I'm afraid. These are now Labor's stage 3 tax cuts for the wealthy, when at the same time the new government is saying the country's too poor to make childcare free. The country's too poor to fix homelessness. The country's too poor to make Medicare include dental and mental health. I'm sorry, but that is just heartbreaking nonsense. If you axed those stage 3 tax cuts, PBO costings show that you could, in fact, end homelessness, make childcare free and put dental and mental health care into Medicare. Those are the sorts of things that will provide real cost of living relief to people and provide services on which they deserve to be able to rely and access free of charge. Now, on childcare, we've got 1,000 childcare centres striking today because they are begging for better pay and conditions. So we could also make childcare free for parents, but we should be paying those workers more. You could do that with the $244 billion over 10 years. Pay women more. Have a legislated increase above CPI to feminised industries. We heard a lot of talk at the Jobs Summit last week about women's workforce participation. There's a great idea. Pay women more. Then they won't have to strike out the front of Parliament House desperately pleading for pay and conditions that reflects the calibre of their work and the importance of their work in raising the next generation. Free childcare would cost $9 billion a year. Now, that's a lot of money, but that would ensure women can get back into the workforce. Importantly, it would ensure that kids get the best early childhood education that they deserve, that sets them up for a bright future. And of course, it will reduce not only the gender pay gap, but it will reduce the unfair distribution of unpaid labour in the house, in the home, that is, in the domestic house. So this government has got a real choice to make. Are they going to be Morrison light, or they're actually going to dump a bad policy and help people?
Authorised by L Waters, Australian Greens, Canberra.